Hey guys, right. Our next indicator that we're talking about is the average true range. It's a very simple indicator. It's almost like a trend line. No complexity in its calculation. Don't need to be a mad scientist, mathematician. It is very, very simple. But also, when used in combination of other indicators, it paints that picture for us. It helps us to extract information out of the market to indicate a set of behaviors. So, insert indicators. It's under average trend. It's not volume. Where did I hide? Are they hiding average true range? Oops, sorry. Let's just do that. Insert indicator. Is it under trend? Adaptive. I thought it was under trend. That's very interesting. Why do I not find it yet? Let's just see. Oh my word! Come on, Daniel. Why am I keep on doing that? Clicking on the wrong thing. Average true range. Where's my average? Oh my hat. Insert indicator. Oh, there we go. Average true range. It was under oscillators. My bad. So indicators, oscillators, average true range. Right? Boom. Click that. It brings up a screen like that. Now, an average true range. A price range, let's just close that. A price range, this is a daily chart. So the range for this day, this last candle, would be from there to there, that's 600 points. So if you would say on a daily basis, what was the range of the market in this specific day, this last candle? It was 600 and something points. If we look on this day, the price range it ranged from there to there, 1,363 points. All right, it's a ranging. It's only thing it tells you is how far did the market move in a specific time frame. If it's on a daily chart, it will be a day. If it's an hour, it's an hour. Now, if you go and you say insert indicator, oscillator, average true range, you can now say, right, okay, what color do you want that indicator to be? Let's just leave it at light sea green, and we say period 1. So these are, if I hover over that and I go and look and I hover my line here, you'll see 825. So, there's a pigtail at the bottom. So that's why we see 825 underneath there. Let's zoom in a bit. So effectively, it should give you the average of the day. So that is 14. So if we look at down here, it's about 1387. So that's the range of that day. All right. So looking at the range, that day there, the range was 1345. If you look at this small little day here, the range of the price moved in a range of 461 points. So once again, all it does, it shows you the range. But now you can go and aggregate it. So in other words, we can go and say over 5 days, or 4 days. So now you'll see it change a little bit, because what it does is it will calculate the last 5 days divided by the last 5 days ranges. So calculate each day's range, and divided by 5 will give you that point there. So the last 5 days, the average price range was 726 points on the Aussie. And so you can move to each candle, and if you hover over a candle, like at that point, 5 periods before, so in other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will get a price range was 759, etc. So what does average true range tell us? Well, exactly that. It just tells us the range that the prices move. But now, if price ranged at a level of 526, and then the average true range goes up, what does it tell us? It tells us that the price suddenly over the last 5 days, average price, have increased compared to the previous 5 days. So there's an increase. See, line goes up. So that's a clear indication that there has been, in each day, the market have moved in a larger distance. So normally the market, let's say on these small days are 300 points. And the moment the market, like over here, it was small little candles, and the moment it moved up, it's because we had these long range candles, which indicated that there's a larger range that took place. Here's a very good example over here. Small range, so this average range here of the market per day was 650 for the last 5 days. Even going less here because of all the small little candles. There's a doji, and then suddenly it started increasing. What does that increase show you? It shows you that the average true range increased over the average over the last day, which means in this case that suddenly the market is moving further, stronger, more points and in one day, which is the indication of a pure, clean, simple indicator of velocity or momentum. So an increase. So if there's an increase in the average true range, then there's an increase in velocity. If there's a decrease, there's a decrease in momentum and velocity. Now, what I've done is on one of the trading systems that we will use and indicators is I add a couple of lines to my average true range, and I use 2 average true ranges. I use 1 over 1 period and 1 over 4 or 5 periods. And then I look at what's the average 680. So the average price or the average range, 4-day average range of the LZ is 680. Then it peaks at 894 and it averages on a low of 403. So I use those 3 levels, and you'll see later in the trading strategies how I use the average true range when it cuts through these levels and what does it tell us. And then I compare it to a 1-day average true range, so I can see, okay, what is the average true range? What is the price of today compared to the last 4 or 5 days? Did it dip down? Was there a divergence? In other words, the last 5 days were up and we are down on the day. And that gives me an indication of where the market loses momentum before we typically see it in a range of price movement. That is it on average true range.